Something I love to share with people is definitely about my game collection. I've been doing game collecting for a long time now, I'd say almost 10 years, and one of my most favorite things to do is play old games and talk about them and collect them. And the PlayStation 1 is no exception. It is easily my favorite console of all time, and there's a lot of games on it that I definitely recommend, and I've had so many good memories playing, and that's what this video is actually going to be about. So if you're into, collecting games, or you are curious about the PlayStation 1 and you want to buy some and you just don't know where to start, well, that's kind of what this video is about. So sit back, relax, and I'll give you some essential games that are less than $20 at the time of this video that you should definitely have in your PlayStation 1 collection. Number 1, Bust-A-Move 99. Bust-A-Move 99, also known as Puzzle Bobble 3, was developed by Taito and released on the PS1 in 99. Now, this is also on the N64, FYI. It originally was an arcade game in 96, but it got ported several times, so they ended up calling it Bust-A-Move 99, which I think Bust-A-Move is a stupid name because Bust-A-Move sounds like a dance game. Puzzle Bobble sounds much more fitting. But this game basically is just a puzzle game where you shoot like some bubbles and you gotta connect them to make them clear up and then break the whole screen. The goal is to make sure all the bubbles are gone and you win and move on to the next round. You can play by yourself, or you can play with a friend, or go against a computer. It's a very good pick up and play game, and you don't have to take it too seriously, to kill 15-30 minutes. But the good news is this game goes for roughly around $10 complete in box at the time of this video. So this game is pretty cheap, always has been, so definitely a good puzzle game and highly recommended for the PS1. Number 2, Spyro Year of the Dragon. When people think of old games that were classics on the PS1, Spyro the Dragon definitely comes to a lot of people's mind. It was an awesome 3D platformer made by Insomniac, and it was just a ton of fun to explore and just play the game, gliding and using your flame breath on enemies and stuff. This game is a load of fun though, the Year of the Dragon, and there's a lot of content in this game that was not in the first or second game. You meet other characters like Sheila the Kangaroo, or Agent 9, or Sergeant Bird and all that stuff, and it's just a great game because you don't just play as Spyro, you play as other characters. This game goes for roughly around $15 complete in box at the time of this video, but you really can't go wrong with any of the Spyro games. I would say for the most experience for this series, this is the game I would recommend to anyone who wants to own it on PS1, and it's less than $20, so you can't beat that.
Thank you for rescuing my...
Number 3, Syphon Filter. Syphon Filter was definitely a huge classic on the PlayStation 1, which, there were 3 games on the system. It did very well. These are the same guys, though, that brought us Bubsy 3D, which was prior to this, which is terrible, and then they made Days Gone, which is a more recent title, so that's kind of cool. Syphon Filter is an action-adventure, like third-person shooter kind of game, where you go around shooting stuff, and in all honesty, you're probably looking at this and thinking this game's controls are not great. It's really not that bad. It's definitely not like modern-day controls at all, but the game is definitely doable and playable to this day. This game goes for roughly around $10 or so, or less, complete in box, and really the other games are roughly around the same too, so the series as a whole is pretty cheap to collect for if you want to own them on original hardware. Syphon Filter is definitely one I would recommend because it's a pretty fun game even up to 2024. Number 4, Tekken 3. Tekken 3 was one of my favorite games as a kid whenever my dad bought it for me, and I just played the crap out of this game. I played with all the characters, I'd unlock them all, and it was just a fun fighting game. I'm not even really that good at fighting games, to be honest with you, but I just absolutely love this game. I do think Tekken 1 and 2 are good, but no doubt, Tekken 3 is definitely the best one, I'd say, on the PlayStation. You just got some cool characters like, Jin and Paul, Law, and Nina. It's just an awesome roster here we got. But if you want this game, this is probably the most expensive game on the list. It does go for roughly around $20 or so, complete in box. Now, if you get the greatest hits, though, it's roughly around $20 or a little less, complete in box. Just depends on, which kind you want. But they both play exactly the same, so in my opinion, who cares? But Tekken 3, highly definitely recommend it. It is a must-own classic for the PS1. Number 5, Jet Moto 2 and Coolboarders 3. I know I'm kind of cheating here, bringing 2 games in one slot, but these were both published by Sony, as well as you can get both of them for less than 20 bucks. I mean, like $5 to $10 all day long for each. But Coolboarders and Jet Moto are both very good games. Jet Moto is actually a racing game that's on like big jet ski kind of deal, and I'll be honest, this game is very, very tough. Was never good at it as a kid, still not good at it now, which I guess you see from the footage, but it's still a fun game nonetheless. It's definitely a practice kind of game to get better, and definitely recommend this one. Coolboarders I loved a lot more as a kid. I don't know, I just like snowboarding kind of games. They're just more fun to me than this kind of stuff, but Coolboarders is definitely a good one, and you can't go wrong with any of them, by the way. These are just the ones that I played as a kid, so if you like the other ones, or if you are curious about the other ones, then go that route. They roughly go for the same prices. Number 6, Hot Shots Golf. Unpopular opinion, Hot Shots Golf is easily one of my favorite games on the PS1. I've loved this game since I was a child, and me and my grandfather used to play this game all the time at his house, and loved this game. This game was developed by Camelot. Yeah, that Camelot. They went off to make Wario Golf after this, funny enough, and also stuff like Golden Sun. The rest of the series at Hot Shots Golf, which is Everybody's Golf in Japan, and now here, was Clap Hands that developed it. At least till the PS4. But this game in particular is a great time. If you want a good sports game, it's like golf, this is a good one. It has a good physics, and it's easy, pick up and play. What's cool about this game is you only start with 2 characters. If you want to get all of the characters, you have to play against them in versus mode. It just has a good, progression to it, kind of like playing Smash Bros. You want to unlock all the characters, well, this game's the same way, but I've laughed for too long. This game goes for roughly around $12 complete in box at the time of this video. This game has never ever been expensive. I doubt it ever will be. Go pick up Hot Shots Golf. You will not be disappointed. It's a fun time. Number 7, Crash Bandicoot 2. Now, the first thing I think about with the PS1 is Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot was the Mario of Sony, and that was my first game I ever played on the PlayStation, was the first Crash Bandicoot. Now, all 3 Crash Bandicoot games are great. I do think the second and third one are better. I chose Crash Bandicoot 2 mainly just because of the balance of this game's structure. I think it starts off pretty easy, and the game is easy overall, but I think it complements his new abilities very well. I do think Crash Bandicoot Warped might be a little bit more accessible to most people. If you choose that one, perfectly okay, I understand. But if you want Crash Bandicoot 2, it's only around like $15 complete in box. Very cheap. It's because these games got remastered on the Insane Trilogy. But in my personal opinion, I think the physics of the controls are way better on these games. Naughty Dog was just kicking ass even back in the 90s, and look at them now. They have games on TV shows now, so Crash Bandicoot, whichever way you want to slice it, I definitely recommend the second one or Warped. They are one of the best games of all time, as well on the PlayStation 1, and they're cheap. And there you have it. Those are my games that I recommend for anyone who wants to get a PS1 and wants to actually collect the original hardware and wants games in 2024. These are games I definitely recommend. Now, there's several other games you could probably, choose that are also very good, and some of the best games are over $20 easily. But for a good solid start, these are ones I would recommend, and I'm sure there's others. And if you have any suggestions on what you think, definitely leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your suggestions. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to give it a like. If you have something to say, leave a comment down below. And of course, if you want to see more content like this in the future off this channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks again, everyone. Take it easy.